The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque will run for senator in next year's polls after all. Roque is set to file his certificate of candidacy today, the last day of withdrawal and substitution of candidates. The palace spokesperson is expected to head to the COMELEC central office in Intramuros by 2 p.m. Roque earlier said that he would only run if Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte would file her candidacy as president. The pilot run of face-to-face classes is now underway in low-risk areas earlier handpicked by the DepEd. To tell us more about the situation on the ground, we have on the line JC Cosico. He's reporting to us live from Pangasinan. JC, how is the Balik Eskwela vibe over there in Pangasinan?
Charles, it's now back to school for around 80 students here at the Longos Elementary School in Alaminos City, Pangasinan. Classes began at around 8 a.m., but before the students were allowed to enter the school, they were required to hand wash and undergo thermal scanning. They were also given IDs with QR codes, which will be scanned for contact tracing purposes. Inside the classrooms, plastic barriers were installed between teachers and students to avoid possible COVID-19 transmission. Chairs are also physically distanced. Safety markers and signages were likewise installed in and outside the classroom. An isolation area for those who will exhibit COVID-19 symptoms has also been set up. For now, students from kinder to grade 3 will participate in the pilot run of on-site classes. They are divided into 2 batches. The other batch of 40 students are now having modular classes. There are 4 subjects being daily, and classes will run up to 4 hours. During break time, teachers are assigned to monitor registration and prevent contact between students. As much as possible, students will be required to stay in their seats to avoid unnecessary contact. Teachers say there's nothing to worry about as health protocols are in place, and all teachers teaching face-to-face classes are also vaccinated. Longos Elementary School is among the 100 schools chosen by DepEd to participate in pilot on-site classes. The Alaminos LG says there are no COVID-19 infections in the area where the school is located, though the city has 4 active COVID-19 infections. We spoke to some parents, and they said that they prefer face-to-face classes as internet access remains to be a problem, and there are lessons that parents find it difficult to discuss with their children. The pilot run of virtual classes will run for 2 months. Charles?
Thanks for that, JC. Again, that was JC Cosico reporting live from Alaminos in Pangasinan. Metro Manila posted a positive COVID-19 growth rate over the past week. The first time in 4 weeks since the downtrend was confirmed. Octa Research Group's Dr. Guido David says a 1-week growth rate of 8% was recorded in Metro Manila from November 8 to 14. The reproduction rate also slightly increased from 0.37 to 0.52, but David clarifies this is not yet an indication of an upward trend. The Octa Research Group assumes that the slight uptick in cases may have been caused by some readjustment in numbers due to backlog. Metro Manila also remains under low-risk category as the vaccination rate of its target population reaches the 90% level. The MMDA says it's now the time to focus on developing the capital for the new normal. Here's the report.
The COVID-19 situation in the metro continues to improve. Aside from the decreasing number of COVID-19 cases, the vaccination rate of the target population in Metro Manila has also climbed to 91%. MMDA Chairman Benhur Abalos said they are expecting this to reach 100% by February next year.
So yun ang projections namin, and we've been able to do it dahil yung mga awardees, lalong-lalo na yung katabi ko rito.
But Abalos warns residents should not be complacent and should continue following minimum health protocols.
The best thing to do is have a template of what happened. Check, have a note. Tignan natin. In the event a new variant will arrive, handang-handa na tayo dahil nandito kayong lahat.
Abalos said it's about time to push for the development of Metro Manila as it enters the new normal. With this, the agency launched the so-called I Love Metro Manila. which is an urban renewal advocacy project focused on developing NCR for a post-pandemic future. With this advocacy is the adoption of a park project in partnership with different LGUs. It will also push for an urban regreening and renewal program, the cleaning of sidewalks, walkways, and waterways in the capital, as well as improving its transport system.
We've done all our best, pero now concentrate tayo sa economy. And of course, importante pa rin ang safety.
Mobility. Let's talk of mobility. Let's talk of mass transport. Let's plant the seeds for tomorrow. Metro naman din na magandang urban planning. Clear and open spaces.
Meanwhile, the MMDA awarded different LGUs and private companies who help in the fight against COVID-19. NTF Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. and the 17 Metro Manila mayors were also given awards for their efforts in the vaccination campaign success in NCR. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
The Metro Manila Council is proposing to limit contact sports to fully vaccinated players only. JC Cosico is back with this report.
Contact sports like basketball and volleyball are now allowed under Metro Manila's Alert Level 2 status. Up to 50% of indoor capacity and 70% for outdoor venues are now permitted, but only for the fully vaccinated. Under current restrictions, minors are allowed to engage in contact sports regardless of vaccination status. But the Metro Manila Council wants stricter measures to combat the spread of COVID-19. The MMDA says Metro Manila mayors agreed to limit contact sports only to the fully vaccinated. That means it's a timeout for now for minors aged 12 below.
Kung ikaw ay below 12, ito'y pwede ka lang mag-contact sports kung ikaw ay 12 to 17 for minors at dalawa bakuna mo. So meaning, kung ikaw ay covered dito at dalawa na bakuna mo, pwede ka na maglaro. Pwede na. Pero sa nakikita ko, kung ikaw naman ay bakunado ng dalawa na at lumipas na ang 2 linggo, may vaccination ID ka, wala namang conflict ito. Pwede ka na mag-basketball.
Under MMDA Resolution 21-28, Metro Manila mayors recommend to the IATF that contact sports shall be limited to vaccinated players and spectators. Organized events, may it be indoors or outdoors, shall be coordinated and have LGU permits. It's also up to the LGU whether they'll allow spectators or not. But what about those playing in the streets? The MMDA says unorganized events must also be coordinated with barangays or venue owners to ensure health protocol compliance.
Siguro marami tayong mga talo dyan, hihingi lang yung vaccination card nila.
During game time, players have the option whether to wear face mask or not. But if on standby, they are required to wear masks and observe physical distancing. Players and spectators exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms won't be allowed to participate. For now, the Metro Manila Council awaits the IATF's approval on this.
Alert level 2 na tayo, maluwang na. It's just that nag-iingat pa rin tayo ng konti. We cannot tell, no? Hindi natin masabi. Sana maunawaan ito. Anyway, kung maka-alert level 1 naman tayo, wala na lahat to, lahat pwede na eh. Pero ito'y temporary lamang while we are in this alert level 2. No? Sana maunawaan po nila.
For News 5, JC Cosico, We Are One News.
The government is ready to hold the 3-day national vaccine drive from November 29 to December 1. However, the National Task Force Against COVID-19 spokesperson Restituto Padilla clarified that these dates are still not holidays. In an interview with Radyo 5, Padilla explained that President Duterte has yet to issue an order that will turn the dates into non-working holidays. Padilla admits that there is a global shortage of syringes, especially for Pfizer vaccines, but he insisted that the government has enough to vaccinate at least 50% of the population this month. The official also assured the public that they have sufficient vaccine supply to accomplish the goal of having at least 5 million vaccinees per day.
Habol natin ay 15 million in 3 days. So 5 million kada isang araw.
Wow.
So napakalaking napaka-ambitious na goal nito, pero hindi kami nagdududa na kaya ng Pilipino ito basta nagtulong-tulong tayo. Ating hinahabol na bilang ay maitaas natin yung inoculation rate natin sa isang bilang na sapat na para magbigay ng sapat na protection sa lahat.
Time now for a quick look at some of today's headlines. Bongbong Marcos and Senate President Tito Soto topped the presidential and VP race in a commissioned SWS survey. Vice President Leni Robredo, on the other hand, is seeing an increase in numbers and now ranks higher than Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. As his former aide, Senator Bongo, files his COC for president, the chief executive declares he's not supporting the presidential bid of former Senator Bongbong Marcos. And retired PNP Chief Guillermo Eleazar is running for senator under the lineup of another former top cop, Senator Ping Lacson. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.